Welcome to Travel Michigan. I'm Dave Lorenz, along with Michelle Grinnell. Nice to have you back with us for another week. Now that the Christmas holiday is behind us, New Year is just ahead of us, but so are so many other great things that we're going to be able to tell you about on today's program. And we're going to head to Plymouth first, right, Michelle?
We absolutely are. We are headed to the Plymouth Winter Fest, which is coming up the 10th through the 12th. And here to tell us all about that is Wes Graff, who is the Plymouth Chamber President. So welcome to the show, Wes, and let's talk about what we have in store for this year's Ice Festival.
Okay. Well, we are, this year it is still called the Plymouth Ice Festival this year. So we were going to call it the Winter Fest because we weren't sure we still had the name for it because we changed promoters, but it has gone now back to Plymouth Ice Festival.
Oh, okay.
So that's good news for everybody. So it'll be something easy they can find, and it's the web address is still PlymouthIceFestival.com.
All right.
Perfect. We like making it easy for people.
Yep.
So what's happening? I know that the Ice Festival's been around for a while. How many years?
32.
32 years. So you've kind of figured out this format a lot better than most. Why should people consider coming to the Plymouth Ice Festival this year?
Yeah, I think they'd enjoy it this year. With obviously, we still have the spectacular ice carvings. We've got a lot of great local carvers, that come in and do some fantastic ice sculptures. And obviously, the fun is that they're much bigger than you might see at, you go to a wedding or you go somewhere that's a little ice swan or something like that. I mean, these carvings are much larger. I mean, our producer this year has promised that there will be plenty of carvings taller than any of us, and I'm 6'3". So it's great to be able to look up at something much bigger and see something really spectacular, which is what we're going to have this year, in Kellogg Park. And it's not just fun to see the sculptures, but part of the fun of it is that there's ice carving occurring during the show itself. So you actually get to watch them make the ice carvings. And that adds a lot to it. And so when it's all set, you can stand there for a few minutes and watch them, come back later, and then you get to see the finished product. And that's a lot of fun for everybody. So it's not just the carvings themselves, but it is the actual seeing them produced.
And talk about the setting. This is right downtown. Do you have shops and restaurants and all of that all around this, so you can really kind of make a whole day of it?
Yeah, if anybody's ever been to downtown Plymouth, I mean, it's spectacular because Plymouth is one of the few communities that have maintained, that old city square. In our case, it's called Kellogg Park, and there's a fountain. Obviously, it won't be running in the winter in the middle of it, but the primary part of the Ice Festival is in the park, and that's where the actual carvings will be occurring. And we have in the culinary. The schools from the culinary arts teams from the different community colleges. Now, talking about the shop, we have a lot of different shops and restaurants. We're well known as a fantastic restaurant community. We have a tremendous nightlife here, and we've still got a lot of those stores. Everybody likes the small boutiques and women's clothing stores in downtown Plymouth. So there's a lot of opportunities to have some fun. There's unique places in Plymouth too. I mean, we have a tea room in Plymouth. We have a place that does, where you can do painting. And actually then, let it, come back later and pick it up. And we have the same thing where people can do clay work and have it fired up in a kiln. There's a lot of unique places like that, too, in Plymouth beyond just the typical shopping and dining. And the food is fantastic here. And so it's a great place to be.
Yeah, do most people like to come after all the carving has been done and they like to see the finished work, lighted in a certain way and all? Or is the fun really in watching them make these pieces of art, really?
I think it's a combination of the two because there will be pieces done prior to the event, and then they'll be carving it throughout. So really you get the best of both worlds. It's really fun to come at night because they'll train the lights on them and have them actually carving at night while they're doing it. I mean, on Saturday night we have what we call chainsaw speed ice carving.
Oh,
where they
there you
have
go.
A competition, and
Sounds
they put
safe.
Yeah.
They put two. They put. I think they usually get 4 ice carvers for that, and they square off against each other. And the crowd actually they let the crowd vote on 2 different things, and whatever they pick, the carver has to carve. And they have about 15 minutes to do it, and it's amazing what they can do in the detail they can get into it in 15 minutes.
Well, they have different sized chainsaws, don't they, for different applications?
Oh yeah, they've got tools I've never heard of, and then it's really fun to watch. Then amazingly, to finish it off, they fire up the blowtorches and glaze the ice. So you actually have a little fire and ice up there on the stage. That's one of the most the Saturday night speed carving is really one of the most fun events to watch. And then from there, people watch it usually. It goes on for about an hour, and people usually watch it in 15, 20-minute blocks. And then they either go out and do something else and come back, or they just go out and the next thing you know, they're lost to one of our restaurants and bars and don't come back that evening. But it's a lot of fun. And the other thing about the Ice Festival too is that there are sculptures throughout the downtown in front of different stores. On an area called Forest, there'll be a number of large sculptures on Forest Avenue. So there's a lot of the ice that's throughout the entire downtown area for somebody to view.
Wes, we only have about half a minute or so, or about a minute. Where do people go? Parking and such, if they want to come to the festival?
There'll be parking available throughout the community. It's usually $5 each. Since we only have a short period of time left, there are some other things I should mention during the ice show. Our museum will be open during that time, which is a 26,000 square foot museum and actually they still have their Christmas story exhibit up. So if you've ever seen the movie, you'll see it on the streets of old downtown Plymouth. There'll be an art show this year during the event itself. The Penn Theater in town will be showing the movie Frozen that weekend. And then also behind one of our restaurants, E.G. Nick's, there's a large party tent in the evening for the adults to go to, and they have an ice bar out front of their restaurant on the patio. A lot of fun things to do beyond the ice that weekend.
And it does sound like a great deal of fun. So many things to do. And if you'd like more information on this big event, just head to the website PlymouthIceFestival.com for more information. Wes, thank you so much. Wes Graff, Plymouth Chamber President. And again, that website, PlymouthIceFestival.com. We're going to find out what's happening over at Hartwick Pines next, right here on Travel Michigan, where your trip begins at Michigan.org.